Most people slice. If they did this, Alex, they'd benefit hugely. This will add yardage pretty instantly, but it would benefit so many people to just learn to release the club properly. It would be a tremendous benefit for most. This will change their game. So we're going to talk about release. Now, for me, release in a golf swing does two things. When it comes to wedges and chipping, pitching, bunkers, you would hear the term release the club.
Yes.
Now, release could be a slight hinge and a slight hinge here. But the release on a wedge is basically going to determine how much of the bounce you use. So if you're releasing earlier or more, you'd get the back edge hitting the ground more. If you release a bit later, you get the front edge hitting a bit more. So if we were chipping green side, you might have no release, or you might just have the tiniest bit of a release.
Okay.
If you were hitting a bunker shot, you would release earlier. It's basically the wrists, the right hand working underneath, like this. So on a bunker shot, we would be very much there. You'd see the right hand working underneath. The back edge would be in the sand. If I was hitting off a very, very tight lie, I might have very little release and be there. But it's basically hinging the wrists and unhinging them this way. This is for pitching and chipping only. We'll come on to the long game release in a minute, but it's a little different. So release on wedge play is basically going to tell you how much of the bounce of the club you're using. Okay?
And I remember last time you said to me I was a golfer that used too much of that bounce on a short little chip because I released that club earlier.
You were very early.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because your chest was coming backwards, I think, at the time.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so release for me on a short game is hinging it, and at what point does the shaft return either level or in front? So on a bunker shot, you'd be very much here with the right hand working under. With a chip shot, you would still hinge the wrists, but it would be much more subtle like that. Comes down to bounce.
Okay.
Now, when we're talking about release on long game, I'm smiling because it almost seems untrendy at the minute.
I know.
To have, there's a lot of talk about hanging on to the club or holding it off through impact. And you might hear top players saying, oh yeah, I'm going to hold this off through impact. But when you actually watch it, what happens? Every single top player.
Awesome picture of Rory McIlroy at the Masters this year is with driver and irons. Is literally here, and he's like this. And everybody you see, I mean, they come to me for lessons and probably come to you for lessons going, oh, I've got to be like this.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's the bit where golfers sometimes they find that difference of what the feeling a top player has, and then what the reality of a top player is. That's where it gets a little bit crossed over.
Top elite golfers will tell you that they've done something, and you can film it back and they haven't.
Yeah.
Like the description of holding it off.
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy, I don't recall ever seeing him hit a shot like this.
No.
But you'll see most top players, I can't think of an exception to this at the moment, who would be there when they've hit the golf ball. They're fully released. The hands, forearms have released across. Now, that comes, Alex, from having hit hundreds of thousands, if not millions of golf balls. That movement through the ball is instinctive. When I hit a shot, it's instinctive. I don't think of it. You don't think of it.
No.
But we've learnt that since we were kids. All the top players you see release it like crazy with hands and forearms. But it seems to be kind of modern to say, well, you don't want to do that. But actually, most club golfers would benefit tremendously from doing it.
Interesting.
Most club golfers don't do it enough. You see this all the time.
Yes.
They would benefit enormously from releasing the hands and forearms. And it's basically the right hand and right forearm being more dominant than the left is what it comes down to. Similar to a topspin forehand of tennis. Most people slice. If they did this, Alex, they'd benefit hugely.
Okay, so before we go into the seniors, which is actually something that Anders mentioned to me off camera about this split grip, which is, I'm very interested to see reasons for this. But going into, before we look at the seniors and that aspect, what's one way, if somebody is here, if I just let me just grab a 7-iron here, is going down that route of they think they've got to get like this, a better compression, but they've seen maybe strike improve slightly, but distance dramatically drop.
Yep.
What's one drill they could go, okay, hang my hat on this in order to improve the way I release it?
For me, there'd be two. The first one is simply take some one-handed swings. Right hand only for a right-handed golfer, left for a left. Keep it relaxed and just do some swings like this. Now, quite naturally, as you'll see, my hand flips. I'm not making it do that. The weight of the club makes the club come down here, and at this point, the club starts to rotate. Keeps turning, keeps turning, keeps turning like that, which is the picture you've seen of McIlroy or any top player. They all do it. None of them potentially feel it happening. But one brilliant exercise that I find a lot of women golfers and seniors benefit tremendously from this is to grip the club, put a good 2-3 inch gap between the hands. Yeah. So split grip.
Okay.
Now use a 8-9 wedge. Take a couple of practice swings with this, and automatically you can see my arms are really crossing early, aren't they?
Yeah.
What that's doing, Alex, it's not only squaring the face up, but it's delivering some whip to the shot, some speed to it.
And why does that happen, gripping it like that?
Because now my right arm is the longer lever by a lot. This is much longer lever than this one. So this is going to be far more dominant in the golf swing. But this is a great way for people to practice and actually hit balls with it. Do this, like that.
Could I try that and you record me on that video?
Sure.
And we'll see what that looks like? Because again, this might be refreshing. You mentioned this in our driver lesson of everyone trying to hit on the up. And I feel like this is one of those points in someone's learning in the golf swing where they might have been down this rabbit hole of YouTube and trying to be like this. And actually to hear someone say, no, just release it.
Let it go. And Alex, how often do you see club golfers who are here?
All the
chicken wing, we call it. No release, the club's open, weak and right.
Yeah.
This will change their games.
Okay, so that about right, Anders?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so here we go. And what speed am I putting into this for reference to people?
Just half shots, half speed for now.
I noticed you just before I hit one, you were really exaggerated staying sort of in this position. Is that something that I should?
Let's see it.
Okay.
This is something that would benefit anybody who slices, a lot of senior golfers, a lot of women golfers. This will add yardage pretty instantly.
Okay.
Well worth doing.
Let's have a look at it. I'm actually really interested because that, if you'd asked me to do that, I'd have said that is just I felt like I really flipped it, but I bet I didn't. I mean, how good does that look?
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, watch you as you come into the ball here. It's at this point that the right arm starts to rotate.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fabulous position through the ball.
Rory McIlroy.
It's where you would see a McIlroy. Quite normally, that's where you would see a top player. And through. Now, if you didn't turn, one thing to say is, if you stopped turning, you potentially would flip the club over and you'd hook it.
So let's paint this picture. Release is not just made up of what the arms are doing, it's a combination of everything, right?
Yes, you're still turning your body, you're still turning your core, but the right hand is definitely accelerating past and over the left. It should do.
Yeah.
Definitely try it.
Okay, let's have one more go at that.
The difference in speed is tremendous. And you will get a few hooks, probably.
But that feels bizarrely really like you can...
It's punchy in there.
Yeah.
Love it. But it would benefit so many people to just learn to release the club properly. And you'd have people who've sliced for years, potentially pretty instantly stop slicing it and go straight, or even get a few a bit left.
So paint that picture for everybody, and if they're sort of looking at positions within the swing, we're saying from this point right here, we're happy to see them created on this side.
Let me do it with you.
Yeah, I love that.
So when we get ourselves here,
Yeah.
your right elbow now sits at the top of the hip.
Yeah.
From this point, it's there. Now, when I do it with you now,
Yeah.
can you feel how aggressive that is?
Yeah, way more aggressive than I'm doing it.
And it's early, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's there, like that.
And that explains why everybody for years will go, I can't stop my slice, because they're probably against this
now,
feeling of
for somebody
release.
like you, if I get you to do this early, you're gonna hook that.
Yeah.
For the vast majority of club golfers, they're unlikely to hook it. Mm-hmm. Some might, but it would be a tremendous benefit for most.
Awesome. Well, that's really opened my eyes, something that I'll use in my coaching, but I think for people watching right now asking that question of what release means, it's the difference between what we do with the bounce on our shorter clubs and then really understanding that we can let this be, I would almost call that complete the swing rather than don't complete the swing in terms of how I imagine it. And just one last question based on that. If I had my driver here, that would be exactly the long game release for everybody in their minds right now is the same.
The same. There's one difference here, one slight difference, and that is if you've got an iron, it's got a lump of weight on the end. You can feel it. So as you come into the ball, the feeling of releasing the club, the weight of the club gives you some because of the weight flipping the club over. The driver is very, very light. You're not going to get given any of it. You've got to do it. So sometimes you'll see people who struggle to release a driver, but they're great with an 8-iron. Quite common. Part of that is weight. The fact that the weight of the club with an 8-iron gives you a bit of the flipping over. The driver doesn't give you any of that. So you're going to have to be more conscious with the driver, but the principle is exactly the same.
Interesting. And is that just almost like you were saying when you're giving me lessons personally of just double down that feeling, work on it harder.
Try and hook it. Effectively, try and get a few hooking.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Thanks, Anders, for
Pleasure.
that. And thank you very much for watching this video.